Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I'm continuing with Pokemon Blue, my complete Pokedex journey. So my last episode, we got to Celadon City, and we picked up a couple of interesting things, which is an HM, which is HM2 for Fly. And we also grabbed two brand new Pokemon to add to my permanent party, and that is a Vulpix, which will eventually be turned into a Ninetales, and then also a Jolteon, which I evolved from a Eevee that we picked up in Celadon City. And so those, again, are going to be two permanent fixtures in my party, but they are a little bit low on level compared to the rest of my Pokemon that are going to be in my active party. So though we're at 33 out of 67 seen, we do need to start leveling up those two brand new Pokemon. And so what we're going to do is we're going to head back to some previous routes that I skipped and some trainers that I didn't actually go against to actually get some experience towards those new Pokemon that I picked up. So we'll start off by heading here to Route 11. And the Pokemon of note on this particular route is Drowsy. So this route is just to the east of Vermilion City. And you could actually take it on before. You could even do it before you took on the SS Anne if you wanted to. But we chose to skip it again for the purposes of using the experience towards these two new Pokemon that I've added to my party, based on the restrictions I placed on myself for this particular playthrough. So Vulpix is actually my favorite Pokemon in Generation 1. So I'm very happy to add one to my party. I do like Vulpix quite a bit more than, say, Arcanine or Growlithe, simply because it is more focused on special attack as opposed to physical attack. So Arcanine is much more focused on physical attack, and so of the two, I prefer Vulpix, and it's just cuter. Now on this route, a lot of the trainers are going to be using Pokemon that are going to be in the early 20s, so obviously this is a route that you're supposed to have gone to earlier in the game, but again I skipped it for the purposes of using my Pokemon later in the game to start leveling them up again. And of note on this particular route are these Gambler characters. So each of the Gamblers on this route focuses on a different element of Pokemon. So this one actually uses Water Pokemon, one of them is going to use Fire Pokemon, I believe, and one of them is actually going to use Electric Pokemon. And so we're going to start off with the Water. We certainly don't want to be using our Vulpix on this particular battle, because he's going to get absolutely destroyed by these Water Pokemon. And I do apologize for using Thunderbolt and with the animations on. Being Gen 1, the animations are pretty disorienting to watch. And so if you do have, a sensitivity to flashing lights, please be careful watching the series from now on, because if I do keep the animations on, you're going to be seeing Thunderbolt, because I will be using Jolteon quite a bit. If it does become an issue, please let me know and I can always turn the animations off. And there's also one trainer on this route that we're actually going to be using the Mew glitch with to pick up a new Pokemon. But that is not for a little bit. That's actually towards the far right side of the route. So we'll take out all of these other trainers first. And this route actually has two hidden items as well. So we'll be picking up those items and showing off where they are located. So upon looking at the Nidoran male sprite a little bit closer, I said that it looked like a hole around his horn on his head, but I think it's just a spot, right? So he has those little spots near his leg. So I think it's just an extra spot up on his head. And in the last episode I mentioned the little girl sprite on the top of the Celadon department store, and I had always seen those little things coming off of the sides of her as wings, and I looked a little closer again on my video, and I think they're actually supposed to be pigtails. But again, I've never seen them as that, mainly because, I played this game on a Game Boy, an original Game Boy, and then a Game Boy Color, and so it was really hard to see the details of the sprites on such a small screen. Especially the original Game Boy screen, which did not have the greatest LCD screen. It was very muddy, and so it was very difficult to pick up on particular details of the different characters. So here we have another Gambler character. I believe they actually removed the Gambler character from later games in the series, because it was a little too risky, I guess? the concept of gambling. And also in Celadon, there is a gambling hall where you can actually bet on slot machines and such. And so I think they took that out of later games as well. This is a problem. Being asleep and wrapped means I'm going to take constant damage, so we need to switch out our Vulpix. Let's switch over to Bolt. Unfortunately, he did not get affected by the sleep powder. So I don't remember what they were changed to in the remakes. Fire Red and Leaf Green, I think they were changed to just gamers as opposed to gamblers or something like that. This is not going to be very effective against a ground type since it resists electric. And thank you for poisoning me. What that means is we're going to have to fly back to the Poke Center after this battle in order to heal. But we did get through the battle fairly easily. We're not getting much experience here for my Vulpix, unfortunately. We're going to have to try to change that around. I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I healed, and now we're going to continue onward. Head up here to the north. There's a few trainers up here I want to take on. And then we'll continue over to the right. I think there's about 3 or 4 more trainers on this route. So here we have a youngster. What's he going to have? Ooh, a Sandshrew. Now, it's not a great matchup for fire, but they actually don't resist fire, and they tend to have lower special attack and defense. But they use sand attack. So as long as we hit here, we should be able to kill it fairly easily. And then I guess we'll just switch out, assuming they don't use another ground-type Pokemon. Yeah, Zubat, that is a good matchup for our Jolteon. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to progress beyond this route simply because Snorlax blocks the way. And so once you get really far to the east, you can't actually continue to the north or the south simply because of Snorlax. Now, you actually can continue to the south from Lavender Town and go down that route. I actually might do that before I take on the gym in Celadon, because there is a lot of water trainers, and so that would be a good place to work on my Jolteon. Careful! I'm laying down some cables. Really? Why is that? Power cables? Phone lines? And you have electric Pokemon. Now you'd think, hey, fire versus a steel type like Magnemite, but we've actually covered that before. In a previous episode, Magnemite, oh man, not Sonic Boom, is not Steel type in this generation. I am just not getting much time with my Vulpix here. These matchups are not working out in my favor. I don't know how I'm going to actually level it up pre-Gym 4. Now obviously in Gym 4 it's going to use all grass types. So that'll be a great place to level up Vulpix, but the Pokemon in there are in the mid to high 20s, and so it's not going to be great if Vulpix is only around a level 21 or 22. We do have quite a bit more to go. We have the route just to the north of Lavender Town to do, and then also the one to the west of Lavender Town. So those will give us further opportunities to continue to level our Pokemon. So what are you focused on? You're the fire type. Yeah, we're going to switch out because Growl is actually going to make short work of my Vulpix. Head to head, they do not do well. Simply because we do not have a good physical attack or a physical attack move. And it's going to resist fire. Fortunately, we do have Diglett, and ground is super effective against fire. But hey, our Vulpix leveled up to 21 and got the most powerful ability in the game, Roar. It's actually the most useless ability besides Teleport in the game. What it does is it forces a Pokemon that you encounter in a wild Pokemon encounter to go away. So it allows you to escape from a wild, random Pokemon encounter. Or, you know, you could just run. But I guess if you don't have the speed to outspeed your opponent, it can be useful in that respect. But you're probably going to get hit then, and probably die anyway. So I healed there, and now we're going to continue onward. We have 2 more trainers up here, and then we have the 1 trainer down to the south that we're going to activate the glitch for, the fly glitch. This youngster didn't really have anything new. All stuff we've seen before. And he mentions the Snorlax. Yeah, Snorlax is actually a pretty good Pokemon. Here's our first hidden item in this boulder. Or tree trunk, I guess. I don't know. Whatever it is. We'll take on the last of the gamers/gamblers. So this one probably is going to have the electric Pokemon. Ah yes, a Voltorb. Yeah, if you're gonna use Sonic Boom, that's a problem. We're gonna have to switch out again. We almost got a critical there that killed it off. That would have been awesome. But we should be able to take him out with our Diglett. And fortunately, it did not use Sonic Boom again. Screech is not something we're too worried about. Simply because Diglett is so fast, he's going to be able to get around them and hit them before they can hit him. And your second is, of course, Magnemite. No Electabuzz or Zapdos at this point. Not even another Jolteon. Now again, if they learn Swift, then they can actually hit my Diglett, but they don't learn it yet. So all of the gamblers have been defeated with his little Yahtzee cup there. Obviously it's not a Yahtzee cup. Maybe more so when he's a gamer. So we're going to skip the last trainer. We're going to head into this little way station here, because we want to head to the right, and we're going to check out the Snorlax as well as get our second hidden item. And this guy lets us know about the Name Raider in Lavender Town, who will change the nicknames of your Pokemon, which we already have taken advantage of. So our second hidden item is in this particular rock or tree right here. And here is our other Snorlax. Hopefully we're going to figure out a way to wake up those Snorlax. Otherwise, we're going to hit a point where we're not going to be able to progress. Now up here, using the stairs, we find another aid of Professor Oak. And he's going to ask us if we have caught 30 kinds of Pokemon. Another reason to come here after progressing a little bit further in the game. It gives you a chance to catch more different types of Pokemon. So we are currently at 33. So we meet that requirement, and that means we're going to get our second hidden item. Not a hidden machine this time, but rather the item finder. So if you're not following along and actually using this as a walkthrough to locate all of the hidden items, you can actually use the item finder to try to detect items. It's just going to take a long time to constantly use that. So it's quite a bit easier to just follow the walkthrough. We could trade a Nidorino for a Nidorina. No thanks, we already have both, and we'll just evolve them. And then we'll look in our binoculars here and notice that, well, the way to get to Lavender from Cerulean is to head through Rock Tunnel. And the other one just mentions this Snorlax, which we've already seen. So I'm going to activate the Mew glitch, and I will meet you back here in a little bit once I do so. So we are now in our glitch state. We're going to take on this particular trainer. And then we're going to catch a new Pokemon, hopefully up in Cerulean again. So he has electric Pokemon again, so we're going to head off with Diglett. And we're going to Diggle and kill off all of his Pokemon. We'll fly back to Cerulean, and then we'll activate the glitch on the Nugget Bridge. And then once we catch that Pokemon, we will then come back here to Route 11, and we will finally catch a Drowsy. Now, I haven't decided which Psychic Pokemon I'm going to use in my party. I do want to use one eventually, and I'll have to train one up, but I'm not sure which one I want to use yet. I tend to use a Kadabra or an Alakazam, but sometimes I'll switch it up and use something else, like a Mr. Mime or a Drowsy/Hypno. And a few times I've actually used Jinx, or even Starmie, which is part Psychic. So I'll have to think about it. It's not until the next gym, or maybe even the gym after that, that we're actually going to pick a Psychic Pokemon to use. So I have a little bit more time. So here we are on Nugget Bridge, and we get a Magmar! Much earlier in the game than you would normally encounter them. So Magmar is the exclusive to Pokemon Blue. The Pokemon Red exclusive is the Electabuzz. So we're going to use our Baby Ninja to paralyze it and then wear it down. Alright, this is ball 5, come on! And we got it. About time. It took longer than it needed to, about 10 minutes, to wear him down to that point. So Magmar is a interesting Pokemon. It's pretty good for a Pokemon that doesn't evolve. And it's certainly better getting it at this point in the game as opposed to the point much later in the game when you typically encounter them. But again, we're going to use our Vulpix as our fire Pokemon. And here we have Drowsy. We'll catch him. And we do need nicknames for both Magmar and Drowsy. If anyone would like to comment below to name those Pokemon. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it, and the continued support. In my next episode, we're going to head back to Lavender, and we're going to continue on through those particular routes to continue gaining experience for Vulpix as well as Jolteon. So I'll see y'all in my next episode. So long! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time!